Another comp video. These things literally carry my channel. I'm here at the location of my first comp. Interesting. Perth Autumn, a comp where I had no expectations. Everything was cubic, so all the n by n's plus OH and 3 blind. So everything's like a cube here. I genuinely didn't know what was going to happen. So I just told myself to solve and we'll see what happens. What was I doing before the comp? Well, not much really. But to keep the PR streak alive, I wanted to practice 5x5. But then I wanted to save 5x5 for the next comp, since I wasn't really likely to beat any of my PRs there, other than 5x5. I felt like my OH PRs were very beatable from carrying up, especially single, so I did a tiny bit of OH last minute. I wanted to practice 3 blind, but it got very boring and frustrating, so I didn't care. I told myself I wasn't a blinder anymore. So in conclusion, I didn't really practice anything specifically. I loosely planned my PR streak and what to concentrate in and practice. For this comp, I planned according to the schedule. If I didn't get 2x2 PRs, then I'd try for 3 blind. And if not, then OH. And if not OH, then 5x5. Not that I needed to try in 5x5 to get PRs. Okay, comp time. Fun fact, I was basically the first person to enter the venue, other than the delegates and the other special people. And I decided to go on the worst table possible. Half of it could not be used because it was blocked by other tables and a wall. I just chilled, socialized, and warmed up over the 2-hour period. First average is a bit sad. I started with a mid-10, then a bad solve where I couldn't find first pair, then a potential PR single ruined by a G-perm. Not the first time something was ruined by a G-perm. Then I accidentally stopped the timer as I was picking up the cube. I tried the scramble at home and got a 986. It was a good scramble. And the crap OLO into a Locky F perm. Let's say I got PR single on the 3rd solve, got that 984 on the 4th solve, and then the mid 9 on the 5th solve. This would have been a 9.99. We always got next round, right? The chase for sub 10 continues. I should have had a 7. That DNF shouldn't have happened. I got a dot case in that last one, which, yeah.
I need to let my team come home.
After 3x3 was lunch. I had pizza. Look at the difference between this slice and that slice. Whoever cut this needs to get fired. It was a pretty big comp comparing to other comps in Perth, since the Perth cubing community isn't as big as other states and countries. So there was only one event before lunch. I will elaborate later. 2x2 average PR is very easy to beat. I just need a nice consistent turning, then I got it in the bag. But before my group, the speed running around of 2x2, NR was 8 minutes 16 or something. The scorecards were beaten, scribbled over, scrunched, ripped, whatever. And we were literally running, like the name of the job. Well, not really, more like fast walking and setting a bad example for the kids. Whoops. Well, we were close until Tyler gave someone the same scramble 3 times in a row. We went over 10 minutes. We're blaming Tyler for that one. Honestly, I forgot what happened in my average. PR average was basically locked by the 4th solve, until this happened. No, this has come down to the wire. That hurts. For some reason, the world just doesn't want me to beat my pathetic 2x2 average. If the +2 wasn't there, then the average would have been around 3.4. A much better average. For 4x4, I just wanted results that I was happy with. Other than the first solve, the rest were pretty decent. I OLO parodied, wrong OLO'd, and locked up out of sub 40 single on the 2nd solve. The rest of the average was alright. It was around 2:45 PM, but it felt like 4 PM, and it was only the 3rd event of the comp. There were so many rounds, and it felt like the events were never gonna end. Next was 6x6. I don't do 6x6, I don't earn 6x6, I just spectated. I forgot if I judged someone or not, but I was also preparing for 3 blind. The reason why I gave up on 3 blind at home was because of my low success rate and the amount of mental energy it takes. Most of the DNFs at home were either by 2 twisted corners or 2 flipped edges. It was really annoying. It's time to wing 3 blind. For the first solve, I did an M prime instead of an M and forgot about 2 twisted corners. Second solve, I executed my corners wrong. Third solve, I memorized J instead of L and had to Third solve, I memorized J instead of L and had to Third solve, I memorized J instead of L and had to re-memorize edges and ran out of time. I loved 3 blind. That was the end of day 1. My results were okay, but they could have been better. Second day, I warmed up for OH round 1. I'm really cold for some reason. I wanted a sub 20 single. I was very capable of it. First solve, I did it. A nice 18.9. Second solve, I messed up a Y-perm, costing me a high 19. The rest of the average was pretty nice. Got a PR. If you guys want to laugh, and their hand is visible, look at it when they're doing OH. Some funny things can happen. And if that person's me, you can also look at my face. Solving with style. So according to my PR streak plan, I don't have to try for 5x5. I tried not trying and got a good solve. 144. Then an average 154. Then a 203. Then I messed up about 10 things in this solve. First, I realized while I was making my last 4 centers, I'll use Yao by the way, that the yellow center wasn't solved. I tried preserving my cross edges, which may not have been the best thing to do, but messed them up anyways. Then I resolved cross edges and didn't realize I messed up the centers until I was almost done with edge pairing. I almost wanted to give up, but I didn't, realizing that I have to solve the cube anyways. Then I finished F2L and realized I had a few edges unpaired. The average ended up not being sub 2. Epic. After a weird 5x5 round, it was 7x7. Just like 6x6, I don't do 7x7, and I completely forgot what happened. Whatever, it was lunchtime. This time I had noodles. During the break, I went to station 1 and did some stack matted 3x3 and 2x2 practice. Then there was 2x2 round 2. I was on station 1. Obviously, continuing from yesterday, I wanted to beat my average PR. I had a nice start with 2 counting 3s. I just needed to do it one more time. 12 seconds. Yeah, look at everyone behind me. They're all like, what the hell? Guys, station 1 is cursed. Okay, 3x3 round 2. Right, Amy said one of us, between me, Amy, and Seb Bok, will get a sub 10 average this comp. Amy was in the first group. I don't have the details of the solves, just the results. It was down to me and Seb. No, the other Seb. There are a lot of Sebs in the Perth cubing community. Anyways, I was in group 3 and I was the most nervous I had ever been for a long time. Now I've heard that chewing can help calm your nerves. So Seb bought gum and I had bubble tea because I'm Asian. My first solve had a ton of rotations, then an NA perm to finish. Decent time, but not decent if you want a sub 10 average. The next solve was alright, but I had another bad PLL. The third solve was just kinda bad in general. The fourth solve should have been at least a low 10, and the fifth solve was decent. It was all down to Seb. He suffers from a lot of comp nerves since he doesn't get to attend too much since he lives all the way down in Albany. I guess it really got to him, and he missed a 1 move yellow cross on the second solve. I just want to show you guys this Scrabble. Here's the 1 move yellow cross, as you can see, and you can also notice that this edge is solved. So the first thing you do is insert this corner and solve the X cross. You get this free pair, this very easy pair, and rotate this pair, cancel into the sledgehammer, Ola skip, and J apron, AUF, and that's it. 34 moves. And then got a 12, which ruined his average. Anyways, the rest of the average was kinda crap. No one got that sub 10 average. But now, there was another issue. Finals. Amy and Seb were basically guaranteed to not make it. And I was on the cutting board, is that the right word? I did a few calculations again. I really thought I was going to finish 13th. But this guy pulls a 10.7, and this guy pulls a sub 10 out of thin air. I guess 15th is better than 13th. This time I had no one to blame anymore. I messed up centers on my first solve for 4x4. Crappy time. For the second solve, the first yippee was from the competitor, but the next few was from the judge. Like, why? The first one is all good, you know, it's funny, but then the judge has to repeat it about 3 times. Anyways, that totally threw me off, but I got an okay time. The rest of the average was meh. I was very tired up to that point. Now, I really didn't want to scramble for 5x5 finals. I think I've proved to you enough that I really suck at 5x5. You have to get the scramble correct too. So if you mess it up, you have to solve it and then re-scramble it again. Well, I messed up a bit too many times. 5x5 might be the worst event to scramble. Then it was the only final that I made, OH. I got a decent average. My OH PR average streak is continuing. That's really satisfying. I stayed in the scrambling area for the rest of finals, and I witnessed a couple of interesting things. In 4x4 finals, I saw this. Good job. Not much happened in 2x2 finals, not that I can remember. And in 3x3 finals, this scramble appeared. Okay, this scramble looks actually crazy. But anyways, on white cross, you could insert this blue edge with a B move, and then you'd kind of do this to solve a double X cross. Then you have 2 free pairs. This one, and then doing this one, leads to a soon into a T-perm. The other one led to an N-perm. It wasn't as good as the one move cross from earlier, but it looked pretty cool.
I realise I am not following my parents. Where are they? Yo, I'm gonna be the gurney.
Sure. Results-wise, results-wise, the comp wasn't good, but I forgot what to say.
W-Res.
Results-wise, I can't speak. Results-wise, the comp wasn't good, but fun-wise, it was very good. Yeah. Bye-bye. Blech.